Hi, I'm Shelly with Gilbert Marketplace, and today we're going to use our Crown Royal bags that you get when you purchase Crown Royal. The bag comes over the Crown Royal, and we have lots of them, so I said, hey, why don't we DIY with them? I also made pumpkins out of them for fall, super cute. But this is our Christmas tree, and what you'll need is obviously a green bag if you want it to be a green tree. You'll need a wood slice. You can have some ribbon, some twine, some stuffing, and just cut out a shape of a tree. I just happen to have this tree around, and so this is what I can use for a template. You could just print anything off the internet, just a tree, probably you can hand cut, free-handed, it's super easy. Now what I did is I lined up the Crown Royal, because obviously that's the, what we want on it. So I put that in between one of my branches so that it would not be cut out. And then I tried to move the sewing that's on the bag to the side as close as I could. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a marker. Now you could make this a taller tree instead of doing the star. The star is a little complicated on cutting it out, so I just made some lines for my tree, and I made it a little bigger than the actual pattern because I wanted it a little bit bigger. And I did go over on this line just so that I would have a little bit bigger tree. So once we get this cut out, we will cut the pattern out. So now I have my tree. Like I said, you can use any pattern you want. Then I just took my scissors and first of all, I want to, this time, I did not do this last time, I want to cut this string and pull it out because I think that we could use this string to make a cute bow instead of the buffalo check, so it would be more authentic. So I'm going to pull this out before I cut it. Okay. It's stuck on there with a knot so it doesn't go all the way through. There we go. This way I can use this cording if I want to make a bow. All right, so now I'm going to lay this back down and I am going to cut it. So I'm just going to, like I said, fake in the tree here. Obviously, because I use black marker, we want to make sure that we're cutting it. Out. Okay. And I will, you could use a pencil, you could use chalk, probably was not the smartest idea to do black marker, but it'll work. I wanted you to see on here. Okay, so just hold it together where the seam is, and then we will cut. Let's see, we gotta get that angle in there a little bit better. Just because it's kind of sewed together with these strings, you just want to make sure that it stays together. And then on my last one here, I'll just cut this. It's a little harder when you're going through where they sewed. They used a serger to sew that. I don't have one of those, I always wanted one, but you can, really sew this if you wanted to. I'm just showing you how to do it because the average person probably doesn't have that. So we're just gonna show you a quick DIY so that everybody else can do it. Basically, the whole concept is just we're making a pillow shaped in a Christmas tree because they're green bags, so it's suitable. You could really cut this into anything you wanted. Okay, let's see. I wanna make sure that we don't have any parts sticking out. Where that cording is, it's a little tricky. Okay, and then we're going to cut in here, and that is going to be our tree trunk. You better make sure you have a pair of sharp scissors, because like I said, going through where it's serged is a little tricky. Okay, so we have our tree, and I'm going to open this up because some of this we will need to cut off. Okay, so this side got cut real nice. You can see this has extra over here. We're just going to cut it. I'm not going to cut the bottom straight across yet, but I am going to cut where the stem is. Okay, so that should be separate. We have our tree things, and I just got to see what happened over here. On the fold, we're going to just cut that to be a point. Okay, so now we have our tree shape. Okay, and then what I did is I just took my glue gun, and let's get some of that stuff out of the way, and I'm just going to glue the edges together. So we're going to go as close to the edge. Like I said, you could use a sewing machine, but I know not everyone has that. So we're just going to push it together and glue it together. And be real careful not to get glue on your tree, because it will look messy, and we don't want that. Okay, so we'll just kind of pick up and go along the edge all the way around. And I'm just gonna kind of take my glue gun and stick it in there so that all the edges are glued down. Doesn't take too long, but not hard, just a little bit time consuming here. Okay, we're getting this all glued. Hopefully everyone's having a nice Sunday. Everyone got their church on this morning. All right, let's see here. Just kind of going around the edges. And I get this one whole side done. Goodness gracious, you could wear something on your hands so that you're not gluing them all together. Okay. And that's gonna be on our desk, that box. Oh, we're gonna have all kind of noise. So we're gonna put both these edges together. Let's see. That's my boxer. He's not so little anymore. He's about 16. And once he doesn't bark or make any noise till someone comes to the door. So he is let you know someone's here. I guess that's the job of a dog, right? Okay, so I'm getting most of this all glued together. And I'm doing just a quick job because no need for you to watch. That's the only drawback with doing lives is I have to do the process. I could have had a dummy made. Otherwise, it takes time. You know, when you edit it out, you don't have to see all that. Okay, so I have this glued and I have enough space to get in our stuffing. So we're gonna now stuff it. And I could have left a little bit more space, but I got a finger full here. And we'll fill this. And we will get this all stuffed. And just kind of push it around, like I said, with your finger, get it all mushed up in there. You can see how nice that was, like right in the center. So it's kind of important when you cut it to lay it, your paper pattern or whatever pattern you're using for your tree. Obviously a tree you could probably freehand, but you want to make sure that you're getting it so that that's kind of focal and center. These are super cute for, you know, Christmas bar decoration. You could also not mount it on the wood slice, and you could, you know, put a string on it and use it as a little Christmas tree ornament. Everyone that's a fan of Crown Royal likes these. I made them, the pumpkins this year too. Hot seller. They were so fun. Everyone wanted them, you know, made cute for their bar decoration. So I thought, gee, if we're gonna decorate our bar for the fall, why not for Christmas? You can make a few of these, you know. You can make different, you know, sizes. Can't get too much bigger, obviously, because we have the bag's only so big. I don't know. I know in the Crown Royal, the other flavors come in the bigger ones, so there may be the bigger. I know in the vanilla it comes in the big and the small. I know the apple, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'm not a big drinker. If they have it in the different sizes, because if they did, then you could have different size trees. I know I did the pumpkins in different sizes because certain flavors. We have some friends that, you know, love it, and so they get lots of bags. So I'm always like, save your bags, save your bags. Okay. All right, so now we have it all stuffed. And if you don't have it in a spot you want it, you could just take, you know, a little stick and kind of work it into the corners so that your branches are full too. Just kind of poke it in there. Oh, that one needs some on this side for sure. Otherwise, like I said, your branches will be kind of limp. So we want to make sure we push it up in there. It's easier to do before you close it up. Sometimes you can use a shish kebab skewer. Even the point of your scissors probably will get it up in that corner real good. And if you push too hard and you poke it through, then you'll just go with a little more glue and fix that back up. Because I think if I do a little too much, that sometimes that happens. No big deal. Okay, and then we'll just get this other one right up in there. That's why you kind of want to pay attention when you're doing it. Okay, so I think I got all my things pretty much full in there. We'll add a little bit more on the stem. We'll get that in there. Now, as I said, I left this a little bit longer, and the reason for that is if you're going to put it on your wood slice, that's what I used to glue it down. I bent it backwards. I twined half of it and then put it back. So let me give you an idea of how we did that. Let's get a little bit more in there. Okay, so that's good and full, so we'll just take this and glue it shut. Just go along your edge and then pinch it. Okay, so now you can see I have all these like fraggly strays, you know, it doesn't look too professional. Oops, we gotta give it a little more glue here. And me, I don't like sloppy work, so we'll let this dry a second here. It's a little hot, so careful. You could always wear those little thumb things when you're doing this. Mine's a low temp, so it's not as bad, but it's still hot. Okay. So what I did now is I took my scissors and I cleaned it up. Honestly, once the glue's on there, it's much easier to get your shape a little bit better. So I just cut this to look a lot better. Also, where my black from my marker is, obviously we don't want that to show, so we'll be cutting in a little bit to get that off. So on this, we'll just just cut this, like I said, to get all that black off, and it gives it a nice clean edge. With the glue in there, you know, gives it a good form. So we're just gonna cut this real nice. And you can kind of feel where the glue is, and it's a little harder, so obviously we can't cut it all off where the glue is, or you'll be having to re-glue it, but you know, that could happen, and no big deal. We'll just re-glue it if that does happen. But I want to make sure that my marker's all off. Probably better to use a pencil or a piece of chalk. This way that really won't happen, but I wanted to be able to see it. And on this dark color, it is a little trickier. So you can see if there's any little fuzzies or whatever, you can cut that off. Let's see, I don't like the way this one looks. And you know, that's the good thing about a tree branch. There's nothing perfect about them. You definitely, like I said, want to use some scissors that are a little bit sharper. These, I think somebody cut stuff with them. I usually have only scissors for fabric, and then I have scissors for paper and cardboard and that stuff. Once they do that, they cut it with that kind of stuff, they're ruined. Not everyone's as careful as me. So we'll just cut this. Sorry, this is taking a little bit of time. Usually my videos are really quick and to the point, just because I don't know if anyone's like me. I don't want to waste anyone's time. Everyone's busy, and we just want to know the craft, less talking and more crafting, right? I laugh because I said, everyone, you got to fast forward it through, and I try my hardest not to be that crafter. Okay, so I think we got it pretty good. I can adjust it if I need to a little bit more. Like I said, if you get a little glue on there, you'll have to pick it off because it does get messy. Now you can see where this string is. What I did is I took them and I put a little glue and tacked them back down. So, and you're gonna have to do that on both sides, just so that they lay flat. Then you may have to, like I said, trim that up a little bit. Again, I guess you could do that prior to trimming it all, but I just wanted them to lay flat. So I just put a little glue under that and push down. Same with on this side. That's the seam. You could make it shorter so that that doesn't, you know, even be on there, but I wanted my tree to be big, and I kind of feel like that's part of the decoration. It kind of looks like a garland on your tree. So that's why, you know, we're leaving it on. Push it down a little and glue it. The reason why also you might want to glue it is because it was serged, and that serge will come unraveled because obviously we cut through the knot. So it will come undone if you don't glue it. You'll see it will fray a little bit. So you probably want to make sure that you do that. Otherwise, all the stitching could come out on you. All right, and we got a little bit down here, especially like I said on the ends. Okay. Just like a little creative way to use and recycle some of your materials. Okay, so on this one, I think I'm going to use the roping and make a bow. That's what I'm thinking. You could use ribbon, but I think it just will look more authentic. And I'm going to just tie a bow, and I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to put that at the top, and I'm just going to use a little glue and put that down. And it is that like slippery material, so it will probably, let's cut this a little shorter, maybe slip through if you don't give it a good glue. Okay, And then, since this one I think I will hang, see if you get a little spot that opens, just take your glue gun, stick it in there and re-push it together. There's a little spot, I must have cut too close. And then I think what I'll do is I think I'll just make a loop and then tie a knot. And we're going to pull this down. So we've got a knot at our end of our loop. Then we'll cut this again. And then that will be our string to hang it. So I'll use a little glue here and I'll put that on the back. So this one I'm going to hang as a Christmas ornament, okay? Now you could use some of this to embellish it by, you know, putting a little twist on it, or, you know, even make rolls or knots and make little bulbs out of it. So it would be all Crown Royal. Now, what I did is I took some twine, if you have twine, and because the stem I wanted brown, I just took a little bit of glue on the back and just put a little spot there, and then push your twine in there and then just start going around. Okay, so let's get that to stay. Just push it on there, give it a second, and then make your twist. And then if you do it nice and neat, you know, you can do it so it's all even and not crisscross. Hey, each to their own, you know, I tend to like it a little more organized, not so sloppy. Okay, so this, you'll just kind of keep going down. And you can see as you go down, it gets a little tighter and it kind of pulls in, okay, the fabric. And we'll just do it till the gold part. Now, since this one's going to be an ornament, I could go all the way down, but obviously I don't want that long of a trunk. So I'm just going to add a little glue to the back and put that down, and then I'm going to cut it. You could tuck it or whatever, so you could reuse your twine if you wanted to. Okay, so now we have that. So this is where, if you want it to stand up, you'll take and you'll fold this down and you'll glue that all the way to the base. Okay, if it shows, what I did is I kind of twisted it in right here, pinched it, and then made sure it was glued, and I glued it down. So that would be your tree stand if you wanted to stand up. Like I said, on this one, I think I'm gonna hang and make it an ornament. So I will end up cutting this off and re-gluing it just to make it an ornament, because I don't want that long of a stem. I think it will look good just like that. Well guys, I hope this craft gives you some creative ideas of things that you can use around the house. I appreciate all you guys, and appreciate all my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. Push the bell and it will notify you each time I upload a video. Hey everyone, I hope you have a great Sunday, and thanks for watching.